Hi guys, we have a viewer. Alright, sweet. Hey guys, Joe Holland here from Joe Holland Fishing on Instagram, YouTube, and the Facebook. I am up here in Maine and I'm playing around with my electronics, which is one of my favorite things to do, and they so happen to be LOWRANCE. I actually love the LOWRANCE units. I'm running the HDS 12s, and I want to show you something that's pretty cool. You know, I'm not the first guy to do this. I didn't think of it originally or anything like that, but I'm doing it, and I'm going to bring it to you and show it to you. This is how you split 12s. 2 screens, got 2 at the console, 2 up front, and what I'm going to do is I split them, and I put the left screen on left only, and the right on right only for structure scan. And this That's pretty bad right there. If you're out there scanning and you're looking for ledges, you're looking for humps, you're looking for anything you want, really. See, these are ledges, hard rock ledges out over deep water out here in Maine. So that one right there is in 21 foot of water, which is another cool thing. When you put a dot out there, it'll actually tell you how deep it is. So that's a ledge out there in 21. It's good hard rock, and you can actually see the veins in the ledge with that LOWRANCE. What I do is I like to crank my contrast way down, so I'm running at -30, so it doesn't make anything too hot or anything like that. But this is a pretty cool feature when you're running 2 units. You know, there's another one out here. So that's reaching out. That's almost 100 foot out to the left, and you could see it pretty well clear as day. You know, and one thing you can mess with, so I'm going to bring the contrast back up a little bit, and you can see how it makes everything a little bit hotter. So if you're in really deep water, or if you're trying to look around the shallows or anything like that, you'll want to turn up the heat a little bit, what I call turning up the heat. So see how much brighter it just made everything? We're going to go over a serious piece of ledge right here as we're turning the boat. But splitting 12s, 1 on each side. Don't hate the players, just hate the game, please. But yeah, I'm out here scanning. See, now that's a little too hot for me right there. See how it's kind of washing out a little bit? So what I like to do in a situation like that is I'll bring the contrast down, you know, 30s, 31, 32, maybe 35 or 33 right there. We're going to slide it back over. That's some jagged, hard rock there. And then what that does when I bring the contrast down is it enables me to see every little piece there. So I'm looking at rocks and gravel. You know, this is about where I switched it right here. It's going to be some more jagged ledge out to the right. Now these are pretty high elevation changes. They're out in probably 25 foot of water out there, and it's coming up 10 foot at a time with a straight ledge of a drop off. And it's hard granite. For example, I'll show you what it looks like out of the water. I don't know, it's probably too dark to see right now, but if you can see that bank right there, that's pretty much what we're looking at underwater. You know, a good way, if you're ever out there scanning on a new body of water, you don't know what the bottom looks like. A lot of times you could figure it out just by looking at the shore. I'll get you closer to that and show you, and it's pretty much exactly what you have on shore, but you have it underwater. So these are big boulders on top of the ledge right there. Those are big boulders, and you can see how much they come up into the water column. We're zoomed out. We were at 120. Now we're at 100. But this is just an excellent ledge with a point. I'd probably mark that point. I'd mark all these boulders in here and the ledge. Now we got a tree out there on the left, laying on the bottom. Nice tree right there. I'll get us over towards the shore so you can kind of see what I mean when I was talking about ledge. Ledge in Maine's a lot different than it is, say, to the Kentucky guys and stuff like that, whereas it's not just an elevation change, it's actually the rock formation. The rock formation itself is actually ledge. It's hard rock. It's just one gigantic piece of hard rock that's all together. So I'll show you closer to shore. So that's a ledge. That's a true ledge right there. That's one gigantic piece of rock, and you can see the formations on it, how it's almost like steps, and it's very steep and like an incline or decline. That's actually what we're looking at under the water there too. So Another log right there. A lot of logs on the bottom. I bet you if you went and got those logs and brought them up, they'd be some pretty cool wood. Let's zoom out. There we go. Sorry, guys. So you see that hot spot right there? That's a lot of gravel. That's more like pea gravel and really good stuff in the fall if you're fishing in Maine or up north. The bass really get on that because the crawdads are out there and picking through. But this is just fun scanning. Something cool to do with your Lowrances if you are running two. And I'll show you how to do this in a second. Oh, there's a nice piece of ledge out there on the right side too. See, that's a pretty cool piece of ledge going perpendicular to the bank. and a nice little hump on it, and another couple side pieces out there. But yeah, if you ever want to get these screens right here, oh wow, look at this gigantic piece of ledge we're going over. Dang, this is some good hard bottom here. There's an awesome piece of ledge right there. Actually, while we're out here, let me see if I can go find that boat. I know of a boat on the bottom. Let's go scan that thing. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me, folks. We'll be there in a minute. This is a lake I fished for a long time, and I found a boat that was sunken on the bottom. I think it's like maybe 15, 20 foot deep. Looks like an aluminum boat, but still has the motor on it, and it's got a ton of fish in it. But I haven't seen it for a couple of years. It's been a while since I've been out here. So let's go, since we're scanning and it's only like half a mile away, let's go take a look at it. Alright, we'll set her down. It's going to take a minute for the side scan to catch back up. While we're doing that, I'll show you how you can get these. All right, cool. I'll show you how you guys can get these screens on your units if you want, or if you have one unit and you just want to isolate one side or the other. All you do is you hit. Actually, you don't hit menu. You hit your pages function right there, and you pick what screen you want. So what we're running right now is we're running just straight structure. This one has my structure on the bottom and a down scan up top. This has structure, down scan, and sonar. But right now we're just running structure on each side. So what you do is you hit your structure, and then you bring up menu, and then you choose your view right there. So right now I have it on left only. You know, your normal setting's going to be left and right, and then if you want to isolate it, so like on the right side, I really want to look over there to the right because I know that's where the shallower ledge is with all the boulders on it. I'm going to have this screen right here, so I have both on this side, so I'm not missing anything out to the left, like this really nice rock outcropping with a lot of gravel outside this ledge right here. Some big boulders and a ledge with a ton of small pea gravel off it. But that's how you get those screens. So if you want to run one on each, you just go left only on the left one, and you go right only on the right one. So there we go. So okay, we're coming up right here. We're gonna and there's a lot of different screens you can mess with. This is on number 2 right here. I kind of like number 2 as far as which one to look at, as far as different colors and stuff like that. I'm pretty much a fan of like the white black. I don't miss much that way. And if I'm looking for rocks and gravel, that's kind of what I'm after. Let's see if I can find this boat just by feel. I don't have my waypoints with me, or else we'd be right over it. But I think it's like, if I remember right, it's probably like 100 yards out in front of us. Let's take a look. But don't let stuff like that fool you. That's when you turn the boat. The sonar's still working. Excuse me, working perfectly. But when you turn, it'll elongate whatever's there and make you think that's an awesome straight ledge or something like that. Let's zoom this out so we don't miss this boat. Don't miss the boat. So we got it on 120 foot on each side. Oh, there she is, boys. That wasn't too hard to find, was it? Check out that sucker. Is that cool or what? So there's a boat sitting out there on its own out in 21.5 foot of water. It's I missed it by about 47 feet, so I was pretty close going by feel. But yeah, that's pretty cool right there. And what I'll do is over here, I'll show you another cool thing you could do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dot on that. We're going to mark it as let's mark it as a boat, because that's what it is. And then this screen over here, we're going to go to like let's go to a chart and Sonar. This screen over here, we got a down screen going, and we have a side scan going with, let's go this side, clear cursor, view, we're gonna go both on this side. So this is pretty much how I run it most of the time, unless I'm doing what I was just doing back there with like a double scan right there. So this screen right here, I got the side view of the sonar, everything else. I'm gonna zoom way in on my waypoint so I can get over it. I'm gonna try to run this thing over, get pretty close to it, so we can take a look at what it looks like on the down scan and see if maybe there's any fish in it or not. I'm gonna miss it a little bit because I wasn't really paying attention, but now we should hit it pretty good there. All right, so in a couple seconds, we're gonna pick it up on the sonar and we're gonna pick it up on the down scan. There it is right there. So we kind of just nipped it. It's not the best view because I'm still kind of turning the boat, but you can see it there on the sonar and you can see it kind of running that way. And we kind of nipped it a little bit. We could hit that a lot better than that. Let's turn around. Let's see how that was facing. Yeah, there's usually a nice school of smallmouth laying in that thing. When I say nice, I mean like anywhere from 1.5 pounds to 2.5 pounders. There's no staving smallmouth in this lake, not many. It's pretty much been taken over by largemouth, but it's fun. It's a good place to bring some kids, or just if it, on a day where you just want to come out and whack some fish. It's fun to come out and do something like that. So, all right, we're gonna turn this around so you can get a look at what we're looking at here and see if we could maybe run this over at a little bit better angle. So, see the waypoint there? I got that set to north up, and I kind of want to hit it so I go across the boat, not lengthwise to it. I'm really not doing a good job driving with one hand and talking and not paying attention, but all right. Straighten her out so your structure sand gets a chance to catch up and give you a good reading. Just missing it. Oh, there it goes. So there, that's what it looks like on the sonar right there. That's what it looks like when you cut it in half. There it is. And that's what it looked like on the down scan right there. It looks like there's some fish off of it or in it. It's actually like an open hull. I think it might have been an aluminum boat. I'm not 100% sure. It's been down there a long time. But when I got a little bit better picture of it, especially when you zoom in. We'll zoom in, see if I could whack it one more time with the units for you before I make everything too cloudy there with the boat. But yeah, these are just some fun things you can do with your electronics. I got a camera somewhere, so maybe I'll drop a camera down there someday and we'll take a lot closer look at what it looks like. Oh, here we go. It looks like we're gonna get pretty close to it. Oh, there's a good shot of it right there. So I split it again. You don't really want to split it if you want to get a really good look or reading to try to figure out what it is. But that's a boat. That's a boat laying down there. You know, and like the very first time I cut it, if you go back on the video, you could actually see the length of the boat and the point of it, you know, because I hit it by the right angle. So this one I kind of cut it in half and hit it by the side. I'm going to go one more time over it just for the fun of it and see if I can give you a little bit better reading so we can kind of take a look and try to figure out what kind of boat it is. And feel free, guys, comment on this. I don't know if I could read the comments right now or not. I haven't figured out how to do that yet, but I'll read the comments later and I'll answer every single one of them. So if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, just shoot them over and I'll get to them as soon as I can. So we're starting to get a lot of prop wash here, but there's the boat right there going at that angle. We just cut it pretty good on both sides. So there it is right there. It's kind of sitting off the bottom. That's what it looks like there. And these could be some fish, you know, or a school of bait laying in it. But yeah. this is just some fun stuff I do with my electronics. Helps you find fish too. But we'll go back to the scanner. So we're looking at the side scan with the left and right, which is pretty much the reason I was shooting this video anyway, until I got sidetracked with that boat. So I'll show you how I set that up. One more time how to set that up. So I'm on my structure scan here. I'm on pallet number 2. I got the contrast down -36. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch left and right. So I'm just left only on the left side. And then over here, you're going to hit your pages. You're going to hit structure. And then when that comes up, you're going to hit right only. It's already up. So there we go. We're zoomed in to 50 there. We're going to zoom it out to, let's bring it out to like 120. And then I'll show you this really cool rock pile and ledge out here, out in over a little bit deeper water. All right, so here we go. It's gonna it's gonna catch up in a second, or it's actually working right now. But yeah, this is one of the cool things you can do with dueling units. And and like I said, you can do a lot of really cool things with one unit too. But if you want a really big, clear picture, you could split your 12s or split your 16s or 18s or whatever the heck you have and take a really good look at what's out there. What's the number one bait you would be fishing there right now? Luke, I'd be, if I was fishing over that boat, I'd definitely be drop shotting like a shaky shad with like a 1/4 ounce or 3/16 weight. Just drop it straight down in that boat and fish it vertically. It's high enough where you're not going to bother the fish sitting over it. But this type of stuff right here with the ledges and stuff, this type of stuff, I'm throwing either a jig or a crankbait on it. It's a lot of crawdad is like the main forage up here in Maine. And, we don't have shad so to speak of like you do in a lot of other states where there's big pods of shad or schools of shad. But there's shiners, there's perch, there's crappie in some lakes. And there's, they feed on a lot of bass too, but for the most part, the main forage that these bass are really after is crawdad. So I'm throwing like a crankbait that's going to imitate a crawdad, or I'm throwing a jig that definitely imitates a crawdad too. So we're going to go over a little shallow area here, or really shallow area here. And this is all gravel here. You could tell with like the shadows. There's a log laying out off across the point of that thing. A lot of logs on the bottom up here. This lake actually used to be more of a river system, and they put a dam on the end of it. So I think in the old days, they used to run logs down the river to the mills. So certain areas, especially near the main channel, you'll find a lot of logs on the bottom. But here's some more, a little bit bigger boulders out here on the left. And then we're going to hit a drop off here, it looks like. So we're dropping off pretty good. We're in 20 foot right now, and then it looks like it's going to drop off. And now this is all pretty much just a blah, do nothing, sandy kind of clay bottom out here. So it shows you that it puts a pretty good premium when you can find a boulder like that, like those two right there, throwing a shadow, and a couple more way out here. So if I'm out here looking for this stuff, I'm going to throw a rock there. I'm going to throw a rock there as a waypoint. And I'm going to have those for a waypoint. There's something standing up actually right there off the bottom is a tree standing up off the bottom. And this lake doesn't have any standing timber in it. So that's like something that probably drifted in there or was out on the ice and fell through. And there's an actual tree sitting straight up off the bottom there, which is pretty cool. And, you could go back and look at, or actually we'll go back to the screen we were looking at. We'll go to, if you want to go back and kind of get a little different view on that, you go to the down scan and see there it is right there. So you got this awesome drop off with a boulder sitting on the end of it, and then it drops straight off, and now you have this tree out there in like 23 foot of water sticking up with another branch off of it. I've fished this lake for 20 something years or 15 years. I never knew that existed, so I'm pretty excited right now. And as you can see, I have a waypoint on it. But it's cool that you can go back, and you can go way back to what we were looking at now that we're on down scan. So this is that hump we went over where it got real shallow with all the big rocks on it, and you can see all the rocks on the top of that hump there. And you can go way back. We might even be able to track way back to where we saw that boat. So that's about as far back as we can track right there. So I'm going to go back to my view. I'm going to go back to left only, and then there's pretty much, as far as I know, there's nothing out here until I get another couple 100 yards to the right. And I believe there's a hump over there. So let's go check that out. Somewhere out here there's a hump. Let's real quick switch over. Alright, we're picking it up again. Oh wow, yeah. So we're in 7 foot, so I guess there's a hump right here. We're in 5 foot. Alright, I knew it was out here somewhere. We landed on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this in a lot tighter and get a lot better, closer look at it. So, you know, to kind of decipher what's down here, this is all hard bottom, it's gravel. You can see it's like basketball size gravel. If you read your units enough, you kind of figure out the sizes of things. That's all like basketball size, maybe some softball mixed in. Then we're kind of falling off the edge of that hump right now. We'll zoom her out. So what you're seeing, guys, right now is, you know, the way this shadow comes up is this hump ends somewhere over here, and it's got some scattered gravel out off the tip of it. But most of this hump, the majority of it's going to be on the left side over here, and you can kind of see the edge of it. A lot of times I'll mark the edge, you know, all the way along with waypoints, so that way I know where it is when I'm fishing it, if I don't have a contour for it on a map. So, you know, this lake isn't mapped. It's just a small lake up here in Maine, so you could either build your own contours with Navionics, or you could put waypoints down. But it's cool to come out here and scan. There's just so much to see at the bottom of these lakes in Maine. There's so much character in Maine as it is, and then it relays pretty easily into the bottom of the lakes with great big boulders and trees and brush and sunken boats and cars, and you know, you never know what you're going to find down there. Moose carcasses, stuff like that. So here we come up this hump again. This is your water column right here, this stretch right here. So it's showing that it's about 20 foot deep back here, and now we're getting 12, 14 foot. We're coming up this hump. And if you're just tuning in, we split the HDS units, so I got two 12s. So we got the left on the left side, the right on the right side. And then, you know, you can mess around with your pallets too. There's some other pretty cool pallets, and you know, when you get into nighttime, you could get into, you know, this, I think, what is it, one? No, one's the opposite. I think one of the most popular ones. This is a pretty cool one at night. Things seem to show up a little bit better, you know, and you can go left and right if that's not too freaky for you, like 3D. But you can see the stuff kind of stands out a little bit better, the gravel, with that red screen on the left. So I'll show you how to switch that over real quick if that's something you're interested in. You just hit palette, and then what were we on? We were on 3. Let's see what 5 looks like. No, let's go to 3. And then it really makes the gravel stand out a little bit better. So that's what we're on. And you know, you could even turn your brightness down when it's dark like this at night. I got my glasses on, so oh, there you go, right there. Now what you're going to see here is a really cool pile of gravel right there. Those are some bigger rocks mixed in with the gravel, and that's out there. You know, that's out 65 foot to the left, and it's 11 foot deep over it. You know, I would put a mark over that if I wanted to mark this, and for gravel, I usually put something like that on there. So that's something I definitely want to get a cast to. This is like a isolated piece of gravel with some boulders there, and this is all sand in here. You can tell that's sand, and we're just about ready to get into some more gravel here. It's another hump. So what it is you got ups and downs out here, and you know, there's no real current in this lake. If this was Kentucky Lake, this would be the deal. But yeah, you can see like the shape of this. You can see the whole point and everything of it. So you'd want to kind of fish the edge of this, or come across it depending on, you know, how the fish are setting up. And that's the high point right there. You can see where it's just throwing a big shadow that way in shallow water, and we still got some gravel out there. So let me see if I can get some more questions. Yes, Luke, it is Damerscuttle Lake. You know, there's one big rock on its own. You know, it doesn't look like it's standing up very high, but there is a rock there just so you can see it. Here's a really big rock sitting on the bottom. Nice piece of ledge we just went over. Damn, that almost looks like a car, doesn't it? That almost looks like a car. You could almost see like something underneath it. We're gonna mark that. Let's mark that as a an X. How's that? And let's get a different view of that. That could be the car. I've been looking for years. There's a Model A that went down out here that was like a week old when the guy bought it. And a buddy of mine, an old timer, he and I came out one November when this stuff was first new, and we looked for it for as long as we could stand. There was ice building up on the side of the boat. And we looked where he kind of thought it went down, but we never found it. But, man, I don't know if that's a Model A or not, but that sure as heck does not look like a rock to me. And it doesn't look like a log to me. That might have been a car. How cool would that be to see a car on live view? Let's go back since I cut the thing. Let's look at it in down scan. Oh, dude. Does that look like a car to you? I mean, you can even see under, like there's actually room under it, and it'd be like tires and stuff. Look at that joker. What do you guys think? Let me see your comments on that. I might have just found the Model T. That's a car, dude. There's no way that's not a car. You can see like the tire and then like the truck bed and then the cab and then the hood. How cool is that? I never even knew that was here. That's pretty sick. I'm glad you could go back and put like a mark on it and everything. So we're gonna get the view back. We're gonna go back to left only. Where was I? See if I can find out where I was from my... See, now you wonder how there's a car out here, like in the middle of the lake. See, we're out in the middle of the lake. Well, guys, if you're not from Maine, this lake about, what month are we in? June? About 3 months ago had 2 to 3 foot of ice on it. And people ice fish it, and they take cars and snowmobiles out here, and they take a lot of stuff out when they shouldn't have it. Oh, I just hit it again perfectly. Totally. I'm like destined to run this thing over tonight. There it is again. What do you think? Now it's looking like a gigantic log, but the other angle we had looked like a car. I still think it's a car. I'm gonna have to go find that camera and come and bring it back out here. There's some fish around it though. We definitely kicked a couple fish out around it there and on top of it. And that's it on the side scan. Dude, how cool would that be if that's that old Model T that went down brand new in 14 or you guys will have to help me out when Model Ts were new. I guess it was less than 10 days old. I think it was like a week old from what they said. And it went down through the ice. So that's how it got out here. Oh, we're coming up on a hump here. This is a little freaky with a one side scan and the other down scan. So what we'll do is we'll switch this view to both. Whoop, there we go. Both. Oh, look at that nice gravel hump. Beautiful gravel hump out here in deep water. That's what it's looking like on the down scan. Now, oh man, look at this other gravel hump. I don't know if it's not showing up as quite as clear on the view at home as it is out here. Golly, and there's some really nice rocks mixed in. Dude, this is gonna hold some big fish. And I love looking at how, like, we're gonna switch the view again one more time so you can just look to the left, because that's all I care about right now where we're sitting. You know, that's how you use a lot of this stuff to your advantage. So now I see a lot further to the left. Look at this one really big rock sitting there. Now you can tell that rock comes up pretty high by the shadow it's throwing to the left. See that shadow it's throwing to the left? Because I'm shooting my sonar that way. And if it throws a big shadow behind it, especially that high, that means that rock's coming up pretty high too. So that's a pretty significant rock out there on top of this whole gravel thing. There's another nice rock. So you got this gravel bar going right there. And then nothing out here. These are like perch or blobs in the water. All this white there. I could probably mess with the frequency and the setting to get rid of all that. But that stuff shows up. There's like a lot of plankton and a lot of white perch out here in the open water. But yeah, where were we? So I got pretty excited when I found that gravel hump right there. Let's go back over this whatever it is out there. I'm gonna call it a car that could be the missing Model T that went down brand new. And if it's in over 20 foot of water, I doubt there's a lot of oxygen down there. Could you imagine if this is brand new Model T in perfect condition? How cool would that be? It went right through the ice. One of the Moody's, I guess, had it, of the Moody's Diner family, from the story that I heard. I guess nobody got hurt, which was good, but they lost a brand new Model T. You guys commenting? Let's see. Drop shot the GoPro down the car. Great idea, dude. Great idea. Should I? Man, I don't know if I want to do that right now. I do have an underwater camera that I'll drop down. I've already lost like 1, maybe 2 GoPros this year. So, man, I should do that. I don't know if there's enough light. It's very overcast. I don't know. Holy smokes, look what we're going over right here, folks. Look at this big blob. That is what you call a hump. Now, it's not quite hump season up here in Maine, but in about a month. Now, the cool thing is, you see what that is. That's an awesome hump. But now you can see what it's made of. So this is all like baseball, softball sized gravel with 1 rock off of it that fell off this hump at one point and is now all the way down to the bottom. So that's something you're going to want to key in on if you're throwing like a deep crankbait or a jig right there. We're going to switch this view back to, let's go to both. So left and right. You get rid of that so you get your whole screen. Look at that beautiful lump right there on the bottom. Look at that thing. So it came up out of like 23 foot of water and it topped out at like 12, 13. You know, the edges of that thing are going to be money in the summer or the fall. So back to, all right, what do you guys want to see? You want to see that who knows what it is. So we're going to switch back over. We're going to go to the chart and we're going to go to the sonar. It's way back here. Oh, another hump, another hump. We just nipped that baby. We're going to miss it. You can just slide those off if you don't want your bars on there. And there's a setting to get rid of them for good too. All right, well, let's switch this screen back over to, oh wait, who's driving this thing anyway? The waypoint's way down there. Let's zoom out because 20 foot doesn't really, 20 foot doesn't give you much of a reaction time. All right, 50 foot's pretty good. We're on high chirp. All right, baby, let's go. Let's go. What view do we want over here, guys? Let me see your comments. Let's go to, looks like I'm gonna come across on the left side, so let's go to left only. We're gonna miss it by about 30 feet, I think. See what it looks like from the side. Well, that looks weird. That's just like a freaking straight line or something. Might have been because I was turning. Nice hump though. With some gravel on it. Let's go back over there. Man, if you can't have fun out here on your boat doing donuts and peeling out, I don't know what's more fun than that. Alright, we're gonna go to the right of this waypoint because I have my unit set on left only. We're gonna straighten her out so she gets a nice clear view of it. Drop the GoPro down. I like the way that guy thinks. All right, that's a left view of it right there. There it is, whatever it is, sitting up off the bottom. And you can kind of see there's daylight underneath it, which is crazy. I didn't get the best picture of it there. Excuse me. I think I got pneumonia. All right, let me see. We'll stop messing around with that left view. Eric, I set that up on left view just for you, because I know you always lean to the left. It was Eric, it's your dad, who told me about the Model T, and he and I were out here in November one year. We had at Davis Stream, and we broke through the ice, and we only got about 20 feet with the boat because the ice got too thick. So we came down here to my buddy Tiavi's. He's got a boat launch, and we launched in there, and we came out here and just froze and scanned like all the narrows because he had heard that it was in the narrows, and we scanned. And that's actually the day I found that boat on the bottom, and we never did find the Model T, but there's a chance that Facebook Live family and I just found it today, sitting on the bottom back there. We found something super interesting. I have way too much body mass or fat, if you will, to dive. But my little brother's got like 0 body fat. Maybe if I put like a cinder block on his around his waist, he'll be able to get down to the bottom and give us a real-time view of what that is. Of course, he'll be able to take the belt off when he gets down there. But yeah, all right, guys. So tell your dad, Erica, that I may have found the missing Model T, and if he gets his floats out and we send Taylor down to dive for it, that he and I might be driving around in style next year, going to all the parades and fairs. So let's get back to electronics, guys, to see if you want to see anything else pretty cool on the electronics. This is just the way I set mine up. You know, this is pretty much the most popular view I put on mine right here. Is I'll put my structure scan on both, left, right, there. I run the down scan above it. I run my map on this side, and then I run my sonar over here. It's important to have sonar and down scan. The down scan is like your lie detector on a lot of stuff from the sonar, but it will miss some things on the sonar too. Like you see those 2 fish sitting up off top of this hump here with the rock on it, which is pretty cool. That needs a mark on it to fish either now or later. So we'll throw a rock on there, and then, you know, the down scan. There it is right there. It did pick it up, and you know, you can't see them quite. Oh, you can see them pretty good there, but you can see those 2 fish off of there. Whereas on the sonar, you saw it pretty good too. But, you can see all the gravel that. So that's kind of how we just kind of started this show, just to show you a really cool way to set up if you're running 2 units. And I hope, you know, even if you're running 1 unit, I hope you learned something from this as far as messing with your left, your right, your down scan, stuff like that. So that's something I like to do. You know, one of the most fun things to do is come out here and find some really cool things on the bottom that hold fish or that used to be on the top. And like I said, guys, if you're wondering how a car got out here in the middle of the lake on the bottom, it did not go hyperspeed off the bank and skip across the surface like a rock, but we actually have ice up here for most of the year. And when guys are ice fishing, they come out here in the cars and they drive them all around, cars and snowmobiles, and geez, I bet you about 15 or 20 go through the ice a year. Not on one lake, but statewide. Maybe more if you're counting snowmobiles. I got a buddy that's, geez, I bet he's sunk 2 snowmobiles in 1 car. I think one snowmobile, 1 car in this lake, and a snowmobile up north, and an ice auger up north too. So Arnie, if you're watching this, that was a shout out to you. Luckily for myself, I've only just fallen through on my own when I was beaver trapping and ice fishing and stuff. But there's a couple narrows on this lake. This is Damascotta Lake in Lincoln County in Maine, and the narrows don't freeze up quite as well as the rest of the lake. So, you know, I had some buddies that they were at the Bog one night, which is like a bar and tavern in Waldoboro, and they had a nasty blizzard. They snowmobiled all the way down there. It's like 15-20 miles, and they were heading home, and they sunk one of the snowmobiles in the narrows. The narrows had opened up where there's like 2 foot of ice, 3 foot of ice everywhere else, which is big enough to hold a Mack truck, but the narrows had some moving water in it and didn't freeze up. So the first guy went across on a snowmobile and hit open water and just gunned it and made it across, and he was waving for his buddy to stop before he got there, and the buddy went over and just sunk down. Luckily he swam out. The other buddy got him to some warm to a warm house or something like that. They came out the next day. Man, they searched all over the narrows for a couple hours and could not find where that snowmobile went through. Then finally one of them figured out they were in the wrong narrows, and it was actually in the northern narrows. And they went up there and they found the hole where it went through and were able to get a grappling hook on it and towed the thing out of there. So that was pretty cool. But that's the end of story time, guys. That's the end of Lowrance time. I'm going to try to get this thing off the water before it gets too dark. And thanks for tuning in. Have a good night. Any comments you put on there already, and any comments you want to put on there, I'm going to read when I get home, and I'll answer all of them. If you have any questions or if you have any shout outs, feel free to give this a like, give it a share, get over to my Instagram page, and get over to my YouTube channel if you're